All involved with Ainaghar brutality will face trial. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus says adding previous government has established ayame jahiliyat in all sectors. Ainaghar is just one of that. United Nations found evidence of serious human rights violations against Sheikh Hasina, says the investigation team. Sheikh Hasina, Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Ubadul Qadir directed the killings. Election Commission distributed 17 smart cards and 3 identity cards among under-treatment victims of July-August upsurge. Verdicts of tribunal are independent and neutral. Refrain from premature comments on verdicts, else legal action would be taken, the tribunal warns. Imported commodities surpasses Ramadan demand, supply in markets increasing as all businessmen are freely importing. Netanyahu threatens to restart Gaza war if Israeli hostages are not freed. United Nations says $53 billion needed to rebuild Gaza. And Tigers keeper Nazmul Hussain Shanto depends on team performance in Champions Trophy. Assalamu alaikum viewers, this is Upama Shaha with you, welcoming you to the news at 10. You have just heard the headlines, now moving on to the details. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus said that the previous government had established Jahiliyyah in all spheres. The Ainaghar is just one sample of it. The Chief Advisor said this after visiting the Ainaghar with local and foreign media personnel and victims in the morning. He described the brutality of the Ainaghar as unbelievable. Professor Yunus said that the torture cell is a reflection of the deterioration of the country in all sectors during the Awami League period. The Chief Advisor said such torture cells are all over Bangladesh, the number of which could not be determined. The Chief Advisor vowed to build a new society in a free Bangladesh. He asserted that those responsible for the crime must be brought to justice.
এটা মানুষের মনুষ্যত্ববোধ বলে কোনো জিনিস যা আছে সেটার থেকে বহু গভীরে নিয়ে গেছে এটা নিশ্চিহ্ন করার জন্য। মনুষ্যত্ববোধ যেন কারো না থাকে, নৃশংস অবস্থা। প্রতিটি জিনিস যে হয়েছে এখানে যতটাই শুনি অবিশ্বাস্য মনে হয়। এটা কি আমাদের জগৎ, এটা কি আমাদের সমাজ, আমরা এটা করলাম। আমরা এমনি শুনি আইয়ামে জাহেলিয়াত বলে একটা কথা আছে। এই গত সরকার এই আইএমএ জাহেলিয়াতকে প্রতিষ্ঠিত করে গেছে সর্বক্ষেত্রে। এটা তার একটা নমুনা। দেশের যে চূড়ান্ত অবনতি, চূড়ান্ত রূপ দেখলাম সর্বক্ষেত্রে, এটা তার একটা প্রতিচ্ছবি। কাজে গুম কমিশন যেটা আমাদের সামনে নিয়ে আসলো সেটা হলো যে কি পরিমাণে একটা দেশকে সর্বদিকে ধ্বংস করা যায়, এমনকি মানুষের একেবারে সামান্যতম যে মানবিক অধিকার সেটুকু থেকে বঞ্চিত করে রেখে দেওয়া হয়েছে। আজকে এটা জাতির জন্য একটা বড় চূড়ান্ত রকমের একটা ডকুমেন্ট হবে। এটা মানুষের সামনে এখন বিচার রইল কিভাবে আমরা আবার নতুন করে সমাজ করতে পারি, যাতে করে আমরা এই যে এটা আমাদের সবারই অপরাধ যেটা হতে দিয়েছি আমরা দেশে। আজকে আমরা মুক্ত হলাম, সে মুক্ত বাংলাদেশে আমরা যেন নতুন করে আবার সমাজ করতে পারি, এটার থেকে একেবারে অতি দূরে যেন আমরা চলে যেতে পারি। এটার নমুনা, এটার সাক্ষী, এটার যে ডকুমেন্টেশন গুম কমিশনের রিপোর্টের মধ্যে থাকবে এবং এটা অবশ্য পাঠ্য হিসেবে সবাইকে পড়তে হবে এবং তাদের যারা করেছে তাদের বিচার করতে হবে। তা না হলে আমরা নিষ্কৃতি পাবো না এটার থেকে। এই যে কাজগুলো করে গেল তারা, তা না হলে আমরা আবার মুক্তভাবে বলবো কি করে যে আমরা এই দেশের মানুষ, আমরা পরিষ্কার।
Law Advisor Dr. Asif Nazrul, Industries Advisor Abdulur Rahman Khan, Environment, Forest and Climate Change Advisor Soida Rizwana Hassan, Information and Broadcasting Advisor Nahid Islam, LGRD Advisor Asif Mahmoud Shajib Bhuya, Advisor Mahfuz Alam, and members of the Enforced Disappearance Commission and senior officials were present. Bangladesh's ousted Sheikh Hasina government and security as well as intelligence services alongside violent elements associated with Awami League engaged in serious human rights violation in the last year's student-led protests, mentioned a report of the UN Human Rights Office. It also found an official policy to violently repress anti-government protesters, raising concerns as to crimes against humanity requiring urgent further investigation. Based on deaths reported by various credible sources, the report estimates that as many as 1,400 people may have been killed between July 1st and August 15, and thousands were injured, the vast majority of whom were shot by security forces, said a UN Human Rights Office press release. The report indicates that as many as 12 to 13% of those killed were children. The protests were triggered by the High Court's decision to reinstate a quota system in public service jobs, but were rooted in much broader grievances arising from destructive and corrupt politics and governance that had entrenched economic inequalities. To remain in power, the former government tried systematically to suppress these protests with increasingly violent means, the report added. The brutal response was calculated and well-coordinated strategy by the former government to hold on to power in the face of the mass opposition, said UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk at a press briefing held in Geneva today while releasing the report. Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafiqul Alam has said there were 700 to 800 Ainaghars across country and all those would be unearthed. He said this at a press briefing at the Foreign Service Academy in the capital today. The press secretary said Awami League leaders and activists, including the fallen dictator Sheikh Hasina, were involved in the disappearances and killings. He said those involved in disappearances and killings will be prosecuted and international standards of justice will be ensured.
বাংলাদেশে যত আয়না ঘর আছে প্রত্যেকটা খুঁজে বের করা হবে। সোফার আমাদের কাছে গুম কমিশনের ইনভেস্টিগেশন অনুযায়ী এবং সিকিউরিটি ফোর্সে যা ইনভেস্টিগেশন করেছে আমরা জেনেছি এটার সংখ্যা কয়েকশো, মেবি 700 থেকে 800 এবং এইটা আরো বের হচ্ছে। এবং এটা বোঝা যাচ্ছে যে এটা শুধুমাত্র ঢাকায় কনসেন্ট্রেট ছিল না, প্রত্যন্ত অঞ্চলেও এরকম অনেক আয়নাঘর ছিল। গুম এবং খুনের সাথে পতিত স্বৈরাচার শেখ হাসিনা ছিল, তার অর্ডারে এগুলো হয়েছে। যারা বাংলাদেশে এই গত 15 বছরে যারা গুম খুনের সাথে জড়িত ছিল সবাইকে খুঁজে বের করা হবে, সবাইকে আইনের আওতায় আনা হবে। এই বিষয়ে আমরা কমিটেড।
Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus has called upon the international community to engage with the new Bangladesh that emanated from the uprising led by the students and youth folk against an oppressive regime and discrimination. He made the call in his keynote speech at the 48th session of the Governing Council of International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD. The pre-recorded video speech of the Chief Advisor was broadcast in the event at IFAD headquarters in Rome today. While congratulating IFAD for its contribution to reducing global poverty and inequality, the Chief Advisor recalled IFAD's 4 decades of association with Bangladesh, especially in the agriculture and climate sector. He appreciated IFAD's supported projects that particularly empowered the rural women in Bangladesh. Professor Yunus referred to his concept of social business as a new dimension to rural development, which creates a virtuous cycle where businesses thrive by addressing the needs of the community, thereby fostering long-term development. He drew a parallel between IFAD's effort and the Vision 3.0 world, zero poverty through non-wealth concentration, zero unemployment, and zero net carbon emissions. The Election Commission has given smart cards to 17 persons and national identity cards to 3 persons injured during the July-August mass uprising. They all are undergoing treatment at National Institute of Traumatology and Orthopedic Rehabilitation (NITOR) in the capital. Director General of the NID Wing, ASM Humayun Kabir, handed over these cards at the NITOR today. Later, he said all injured adults in July-August mass uprising will be given smart cards in phases. Those who sustained injuries during the July-August mass uprising and are yet to receive smart cards have been asked to contact the Election Commission, said Director General of the NID Wing. Trials at the International Crimes Tribunal will be held in independent and impartial manners. The tribunal will go for legal measures if anyone makes advance comments on the announcement of verdicts. Prosecutor of the International Crimes Tribunal, Mohammad Tamim, said these to journalists today. Meanwhile, the tribunal has issued directives to submit next investigation report against NTMC's former Director General Ziaul Hasan on April 20th in the case filed on charges of enforced disappearances. Bangladesh Railway today started operating passenger train through the much-awaited newly built Jamuna Railway Bridge. From now on, passenger trains will regularly operate on this new railway route, which inaugurated at 11 a.m. The Silk City Express traveling from Rajshahi to Dhaka entered the bridge as first passenger train. Railway Bridge Project Director said that the remaining trains will move gradually as per the schedule. However, trains will run on a single track for now. Trains will operate on both tracks from 18th of February, he added. Jamuna Railway Bridge is being constructed 300 meters away from the Jamuna Bridge. At least 88 trains can travel daily via the Jamuna Railway Bridge, which will save 20 to 30 minutes to cross the bridge. According to the project detail, the cost of the project has been estimated at 16,780 crore taka. The foundation stone of the bridge was laid on the 29th of November 2020 and work of the bridge has begun in the March 2021. The anti-discrimination student movement is taking preparations to announce the name of a new political party by this month. The anti-discrimination student movement and Jatiyo Nagorik Committee are gathering public opinions in this regard. As part of the week-long program, the activities to gather public opinion have started at 6 booths in Dhaka University today. The same activities will hit different public and private colleges and universities across the country, as well as districts and upazilas. The program has been set to gather opinions from at least 1 lakh people. BNP Standing Committee member and party chairperson and former Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia's personal physician Dr. A.Z.M. Zahid Hussain said doctors have visited Khaleda Zia at home. He made this statement on Tuesday while briefing journalists after attending an event in London. Dr. Zahid Hussain said currently Khaleda Zia is under the care of doctors at the home of her eldest son and BNP acting chairman Tariq Rahman. Necessary tests are being conducted periodically and the doctors have been visiting her at home, he added. Regarding Khaleda Zia's return to Bangladesh, Dr. A.Z.M. Zahid Hussain said, the day the doctors in London advise her to return or when they think it appropriate for her to travel back to Bangladesh, she will do so. Necessary consumer goods have been imported in the country ahead of the upcoming Ramadan. The volume of daily essentials imported in January amounts to the total demands of the holy month of Ramadan. According to Bangladesh Trade and Tariff Commission, the demand of edible oil in Ramadan is approximately 3 lakh tons. Against this demand, nearly 4 lakh tons of soybean and palm oil was imported in 29 days in January, said officials of the National Board of Revenue, NBR, and Chattogram Customs. Similar situation is in the cases of sugar, chickpeas, and other Ramadan goods. Business people say the supply of goods in market has increased due to scopes for all to import products ignoring syndicates. Meanwhile, Commerce advisor Sheikh Boshiruddin said the activities of truck sale will continue in Ramadan for the convenience of common people. All the dues of the unemployed laborers of Beximco industrial units will be paid within this February. Labor and Employment Advisor Brigadier General retired Dr. M. Shakhat Hussain informed this at a press briefing after the advisory committee. Career dues of these laborers will be paid before the Ramadan, he added. At the press briefing, the Commerce Advisor, referring to edible oil, said that deficit of edible oil in the market will be resolved within next 10 days. He further mentioned that there is no scope of price instability of chickpeas, date, pulses and sugar ahead of Ramadan. There won't be any crisis in supply of these products. Now, international news. Israel threatened Tuesday to resume intense fighting in Gaza if hostages were not released this weekend, while Hamas insisted it remained committed to the ceasefire deal and accused Israel of violations. Under the terms of the truce, which has largely halted more than 15 months of fighting in Gaza, captives were to be released in batches in exchange for Palestinians in Israel custody. So far, Israel and Hamas have completed 5 hostage prisoner swaps. But the deal has come under increasing strain in recent days, prompting diplomatic efforts to salvage it and Hamas to say it was committed to the ceasefire. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that if Hamas does not return our hostages by Saturday noon, the ceasefire will end and the IDF, Israeli military, will resume intense fighting until Hamas is decisively defeated. His threat echoed that of US President Donald Trump, who said on Monday that hell would break loose if Hamas failed to release all Israeli hostages by Saturday. The president proposed taking over Gaza and removing its more than 2 million residents. If all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday 12 o'clock, I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out, Trump said. He reaffirmed his deadline while hosting Jordan's King Abdullah II on Tuesday. King Abdullah said on social media he reiterated Jordan's steadfast position against the displacement of Palestinians, adding it was the unified Arab position. Senior Hamas leader Sami Abu Zuhri said Trump's remark further complicates matters. Trump must remember that there is an agreement that must be respected by both parties, he told AFP. Egypt, a U.S. ally which borders Gaza, said Tuesday it plans to present a comprehensive vision for the reconstruction of the Palestinian territory, which ensures residents remain on their land. Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Gheit on Wednesday rejected any displacement of Palestinians from the Gaza Strip and West Bank, calling it unacceptable for the region. The focus today is on Gaza and tomorrow it will shift to the West Bank with the objective of emptying Palestine of its historical inhabitants, he said at the World Government Summit in Dubai. It's unacceptable for the Arab world, which has fought this idea for 100 years. Abul Gheit was commenting on U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to move Palestinians out of Gaza, which has been widely condemned in the Arab world. After resisting this for 100 years, we Arabs are not about to capitulate in any way now because we have not suffered a political, military or cultural defeat, he said. Meanwhile, China reiterated its opposition to what it called forced displacement of Palestinians when asked about US President Donald Trump's plan to move Gaza's inhabitants elsewhere. Gaza belongs to the Palestinians and is an integral part of the Palestinian territory. We oppose the forced displacement of the people of Gaza, Foreign Ministry spokesman Guo Jiakun told a regular press briefing. The European Union and Canada said on Tuesday they were prepared to hit back after US President Donald Trump decided to impose tariffs on all steel and aluminium imports, escalating fears of a trade war. Trump signed proclamations late on Monday, raising the US tariff rate on aluminium to 25% from his previous 10% rate and eliminating country exceptions and quota deals, as well as hundreds of thousands of product-specific tariff exclusions for both metals. The measures, which will take effect on March 12th, will apply to millions of tons of steel and aluminium imports from Canada, Brazil, Mexico, South Korea, and other countries that had been entering the US duty-free under the carve-outs. Speaking during a visit to Paris on Tuesday, Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called the tariffs unacceptable. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen also condemned the decision, saying the 27-nation bloc would take firm and proportionate countermeasures. Omor Ekushe Book Fair enters on the 12th day today. Every day, writers, readers and publishers are displaying their enthusiasm about new books in this month-long festival. The festive mood is increasing with congregation of readers of all ages. Special attention is being drawn by literary cultural events hosted by the students. BNP Vice Chairman Shamsuzzaman Dudu has said there is no alternative to elections to establish democracy in the country. He said that BNP is fighting to establish the rights of the people. The BNP leader said this at a discussion titled Role and Responsibilities of Interim Government in Ensuring Tolerable Commodity Price and Controlling Law and Order Situation in the capital today. Youth Forum has organized the program at the National Press Club. BNP has announced programs to establish people's government, Shamsuzzaman Dudu said, adding that if needed, they will take to the street and unite people. Now, news on sports. Bangladesh captain Najmul Hossain Shanto urged his team to produce the perfect teamwork to face the upcoming challenges of Champions Trophy. Team Tigers enjoyed their final practice session at the home of cricket today. Facing the media in the pre-tour presser at the home of cricket, Najmul said they are aware of the expectations and a perfect teamwork-based performance is the skipper's only desire. Bangladesh will play the matches in Dubai and Pakistan, which puts the Tigers in a complex circumstances, but Najmul believes his team can handle the pressure. Najmul, in his effort to correct head coach Phil Simmons' comment about not having the ideal time to prepare, said they are a relaxed unit and the coach may have not meant it. Najmul and company will fly to Dubai tomorrow, where they start their Champions Trophy campaign against India on 20th February. Bangladesh will take on host Pakistan and New Zealand in the other group matches. Sri Lanka